I'm gonna be spoiling all of Natlan in this. Like literally everything. Everything. Genshin Impact has had me in a chokehold for the past 3 years now. Well, I mean, it started in 2020 when no matter what video I clicked on, Genshin was there. Whether it was through ads, sponsorships, I saw that stupid Twing's face so many times, you could not escape it. So I caved in, not for the Twing, booted up the game, and immediately you are hit with this dragon fight. And just, wow, was that shit so ass that I uninstalled the game and never played it again. Until next year where I played it again for 1 more hour, but this time it was different. This time it got me experiencing something strange, like why are you guys making me feel this way? What's happening to me? Let's all come down here. Back up! So I got scared, uninstalled the game, and never I'm back in. But this time I stayed for the long run. Now the reason I'm telling you this stupid ass backstory is to show you that something kept dragging me back into this gacha hellhole. There are multiple factors, but one of the main reasons were those moments when you were following a trail in Mondstadt and suddenly end up in China, or when you're synchronized swimming with the gang in Fontaine and you can see the sun peeking through the water, which is not an accurate representation of France, by the way. The flashy purple trees of Inazuma, the evil ass sand tornado in Sumeru. Stumbling upon these places for the first time with that god tier soundtrack in the back gives you those tingles, man. I don't know how to describe it. And I think one of the best areas to do that is Natlan, and I'm pretty much going to be glazing it this entire video, so let's do it. They took every corner of this region and made sure something was there. You can go to the top of the world, you can go to the bottom of the world, you can cause the end of the world, and you can even find your world. There are so many areas in Natlan that have even more smaller areas within them, and each one comes with its own music. And oh my lord, the music. Everyone knows Genshin has a banger soundtrack, but they did not miss once here. This might be their most consistent track list since Leeway. You have the main Natlan theme, which is straight up a national anthem. Like, I'm ready. I don't know what I'm ready for. I'm just walking around the stalls, but I'm ready. When you reach the first statue of the 7, you are rewarded with this gongus view, and then a silent voices in the night starts playing. You let HYYYYYYYPE use a piano and they are incapable of making a bad track. This song does things to me. Having this play as you're watching the Brogdingnagian Brachiosaurus makes you start levitating, man. You got this area with the OSTs that can only be described as someone gently popping bubbles in your ear. The jiggies that you will be hitting here are so insane that even the weekend pulls up. That's how you know they're not messing around. Have you ever wanted your own beach episode where you, as a kinda Jack Dolphin, rides the rainbow road from Mario Kart onto these stones that look like dried up water? This place just makes you happy. It's calm, it's cozy, it's a peaceful area that's away from all the abyss war stuff where no one gets hurt. Then we got Natlan. Now Natlan is something, you gotta say it like that by the way. It is something straight out of a FromSoft game. You got these grand orchestral themes playing with a dragon jump scaring you as you're trying to climb this massive structure. Sound familiar? Scaling Natlan seems like you're just going higher and higher to the point where you don't really know how high you are anymore. I've been flying through the sky for a minute straight. I don't know if any of this is real. And then this is beautiful. It's like taking the cleanest breath of fresh air, except I'm inside playing Genshin Impact. The sky is so clear that you can see every Kojima. And if you want to go back to Natlan, you just... it's pretty sick. At this moment in time, I want you to forget everything I said about all these areas because they all suck doo-doo compared to the Masters of the Nightwind. The place looks nice, the music is cool, yeah, whatever. This is where CITLALI lives, so it's obviously the best area in the game. Now, did I make this video just to have an excuse to talk about CITLALI? Oh, yes. But I'll come back to that later because we got one more area and that's the volcano. They've been teasing us with this since Natlan came out. And when you finally get in, you see people wrestling with animals twice their size. And that's how I knew that Genshin really is preparing us to go to Russia. They put a ship on the side of the volcano. How does that even happen? There are horns on the top of it that allow you to signal the start of the invasion. Oh yeah, the volcano erupts too, which still scares the shit out of me every time it does that. I now know what the Kanyans had to go through, except I'm not a Hillage hero. Once you get to the top of the volcano, it is just jaw-dropping how beautiful everything is. You got those clouds gathering around that slash of light that remind me of Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. I don't know why that popped up in my head. It's like that light is calling to me and I have to get closer. But there's also the giant hole in the volcano that looks really cool, so I'm jumping in that. This place is freaky as hell. It's all dark and cold. How is this the inside of a volcano? CHASCA, get the hell out of the shot. There are so many layers upon layers of exploration in here, and each one is competing with the other one to make you hit one of these when you come across them. We'd be here for hours if I talked about each area. Just know they're going crazy with so many gorgeous views and banger soundtracks. And I can only say so much because I got 30% exploration. Alright, let's go to the next part. Okay, now look, you could drop the most beautiful, detailed open world, but if you can't goon to the characters, then why are we even playing this gacha game in the first place? Just look at the Zenless fandom. They are completely off the spectrum and have lost their minds. But because of that, they all joined together and formed one collective hive mind with the simple goal of Yorking it. I mean, they're the happiest community, so they're doing something right. What the fuck is that? What I'm saying is that people like characters. I like characters. And Natlan has some pretty interesting characters. So let's see it. First up, we got MUALANI. She is the happy-go-lucky character of the region, riding around her shark, which is such a piece of shit, by the way. He keeps jumping on the screen. Get back, you thing! She's also a nuke who one-shots the ops, all with a smile on her face. And I should be concerned, but if we see what character she represents, it starts making sense. Because if you look at her family tree, you'll see she's connected to Tupac. Yeah, Tupac! Now I want you to recall, who is someone that has a strong connection to Tupac? Pac. You cannot tell me they're not the same person. Look at the parallels. See the way they act? The parallels. Now MUALANI rides a shark. What did Kendrick say about sharks? Exactly parallels. So yeah, that's pretty much confirmed, yeah. Next we got KACHINA, who has a drill. She's the actual wholesome underdog that you're supposed to root for throughout the tournament arc. But unlike MUALANI, who is just hood, KACHINA is an actual serial psychopathic murderer. It starts off with her getting kicked out of her own team. Then she guilt trips you into feeling sorry for her just so you can offer to be her teammate, only to reveal you can't join anyways because of the rules. Textbook narcissism. But then during the tournament, she can suddenly go toe-to-toe with MUALANI. Then we see in the Abyss area where everyone just happened to die except her. How do you live only, KACHINA? You, with the least experience, managed to survive. How? I am not crazy. You're telling me all those events just happened around her? She orchestrated it. KACHINA. She covered her track, she gained the nation's trust, and she gets to be a hero? What a sick joke. Okay, I don't know what the hell I'm saying anymore. Now, KINICH is a special case because I'm gonna make his part as long as his screen time during the Archon quest. So KINICH is a substitute for those grasshopper things. He's actually a pretty tragic character, growing up with an abusive alcoholic father and a mother who left him. After enduring too much, KINICH was forced to live a fight or flight lifestyle where he had to resort to flight every time, running away from his father multiple times. One day during a chase of theirs, his father stumbled off a cliff and fell to his death. This causes him to dress up like Sasuke and literally have Naruto as a companion. It was a complicated and tragic past. Surely the story will delve deeply into this. CHASCA and XILONEN have way too much style and finesse. They're posing on walls, on guns, they're hitting us with the sass and the sarcasm. The reason I put them together is because I don't have either of them. I got scared, okay? I didn't know if I would have enough for MUALANI when she came out, or CITLALI, or Capitano. Actually, this isn't my fault. I blame this man. I have been an adamant Xiox viewer for years. I've seen all the compilations. And then he goes like, hey, what's up guys? I just splurged my pan. Zhao. XILONEN is the best support. Zhao. Like, frick you, man. Look, I love Xiox. I was there during the Al-Haytham cream session, but I never wanted to shine a light on a man's hairline before. And then on CHASCA's side, we have a friend of mine, a good pal, who keeps joining my world, floundering his CHASCA in front of my face, saying things like, oh, just use the Saurian and follow me. I hate the Saurian. It's stupid, it's slow, it's sad. Now, am I just crashing out because I was hoarding primos and regret not pulling for these two? Oron is what happens when you reanimate a sack of potatoes. I actually get really happy whenever he's on screen because that means either CITLALI or Capitano is gonna show up. But like, what is wrong with this guy? You are speaking to the goat among goats. You're speaking to the captain. And he starts talking about his veggie tales. Like, what are you doing, you daft eggplant? But then I dug a little deeper and realized that Oron was actually foreshadowing the end of Natlan this entire time. You look at his dialogue and he's talking about his vegetables and whatnot. Then you realize Capitano keeps showing up in his scenes only. And he starts talking about his cabbages even more. So you're like, okay, maybe he's nervous. He doesn't know what to talk about. I'd fall in front of this behemoth of a man too. Now let's skip towards the end of the Natlan story quest. And what state is Capitano in? VARESA is the character that is responsible for giving me these two scenes, so she's the best character in the game. Alright, I've been hyping up CITLALI for this entire video. Now I finally get to talk about her, and I just gotta say, she is the most obvious waifu bait character I've ever seen. She comes at you with the, I guess it's alright if it's with you, traveler attitude. Like, no, I've seen this shit before. Then she says she reads light novels. You know what that means? She's out here reading stuff like this. They're pushing this agenda hard, and I'm not buying it. Like, look at this scene. It starts off with us sitting in the night sky as CITLALI tells you her backstory. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not falling for it. Then the music starts changing and I'm like, okay, I'm getting a bit more engaged. But if you think that a sad backstory is enough for me to fall for the bait, that ain't happening. I've seen too many. I know how the trope goes and I'm the weakest man alive. CITLALI is beyond perfection. I've never seen such a more beautifully crafted character. First time you meet her, stupid ass Paimon almost ruins it by saying hurtful stuff. But CITLALI's reaction to this is her being cool about it because she gets the vibe, you know, she's chill, she's one of the homies. Every scene where she's angry has her switch up afterwards. And this is normal behavior, completely reasonable. And everything she does is justified. Moving on to the tavern scene, you see that she might have a drinking problem. But remember, this is CITLALI. She doesn't have problems, she only has solutions. And one of those involves drinking. Such an inspiration to us all. Then you got her story quest, where she can hear your thoughts. And this is the most important quest in the entire game. I assure you, having dinner on top of a hot air balloon as you rub foreheads together is crucial to the plot. What I'm saying is that CITLALI is perfect. We can't go into her flaws because she has none. She's the best DPS, healer, shielder. Does she even do damage? I don't know, it doesn't matter because she's great at that too. She ain't like the rest of them. She can crash out, she can beat your ass, she can threaten and save you at the same time. I don't want to see any comparisons to Miss Forehead or the Kalb or anyone else in this game because CITLALI's just goated! Alright, so let's move on to the story. I'm gonna make a sound that describes exactly how I feel about it. 3, 2, 1. The best part of Natlan's story is when you get thrown into these action-packed eyes popping out of your head moments. First, you're in a tournament arc. Then you're rescuing Satan from the depths of hell. Then you're chilling in the hot springs. Then you're back in war. Then you're frothing over Capitano. Then you're back in war. They gave us a 4-minute cutscene where these animators get to show off their skills by having these two go at it. They're bringing out Dragon Ball moves. Then the impact frames. Then they whip out that cube when the animation's just going crazy and I'm sitting over here crying in the middle, not knowing who to root for. I want them both to win and neither to lose, but they keep beating the shit out of each other. For the actual story though, it is still plagued with Genshin's regular issues like really weird pacing, way too much exposition, and dialogue on the same level as that one YouTuber's Elden Ring video. But in the past, those usually build up to some dramatic climax. Natlan has all those issues, added on with the fact that the ending is kinda meh. And that's mainly because of our girl Mav Wika. Now look, she's a nuke, she's pretty, and I don't know why I like the biker aesthetic, but man does her character suck. When you first get introduced to her, you're like, okay, she could be pretty interesting. And then you're like, alright, never mind, maybe she's not that interesting. They were hinting at something with that 500-year war she's been going through, but they never really get you invested in it. She's supposed to be the Archon, yet I know more about KACHINA's struggles than I know about hers. And then on the other side, we got Capitano. Now I would do unspeakable things to an insurmountable number of people for this man. So it hurts my soul to say that he was wasted and suffers from the same issues as Mawika. These two are supposed to be the centerpieces of the story, but they just fall flat. And then they take away Capitano and make him sit in the chair. Coquitano, he's forever still and he moving as a carrot and vegetable. The story does end off on an unsatisfying note, and that sucks because they could have easily avoided that. But I don't want to end this video off on the same note. So I want to talk about a part of the story that I indulged in, and that's Act 4, because they throw you headfirst in the war. Every tribe, every character, every Saurian is here, and they're all dying. You start in that hot air balloon, helping everyone around, and then Sauron pulls up and everything goes to shit. All the tribes are under attack, and you have to choose who you'll save and who you'll sacrifice in the process. And they really expect me to save KACHINA's tribe of freaks. Oh, that includes the weekend. You see people losing their families, you see Saurians losing Saurians. It gets you feeling something, even if it's just a bit. And then they tell you that the Brogdignanian Brachiosaurus is hurt. I fell to my knees hearing this, man. Not him, anyone. Please, just take Oron instead. All of this culminates in that final scene where everyone's touching tips and gathering energy. With that beautiful, triumphant main Natlan melody in the back, I got so invested I started screaming and sinking my punch in with my Wikas. Except I cracked my monitor instead of the sky. Okay. Even though the story starts faltering after this, Act 4 was so strong that I left Natlan decently satisfied. And it mainly got me excited to see what they have in store for the coming areas. So my takeaway from Natlan is that it is hype, packed areas, music that has you throwing it back, scenes that have you yelling at the word tubular. The highs of Natlan come slapping you in the face hard and the lows kinda just elbow you in the stomach. They only need to do a few things to fix it. Actually, they only really need to do one thing. They just have to add a shirtless, lathered, oiled up Capitano.